we're live. Looks like it's just two of us starting off. We're going to start off with, as we do every week, with the chapter, Naruto 679. We're probably going to speed through this, but who knows? We can get into some of the crazy different stuff going on. All right, the first page. Anything really about that, Mr. Marcus?
Yeah, it was a shocker. You know, the way it started off was pretty cool. You got, the battle, the fight between Madara, so you think it's the fight, and meanwhile he's exploding, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, yeah. It was. I thought it was pretty good. And then we got, like I say, it was a. Well, the story's moved on. I think there's a few problems. I'm going to kind of click through here.
Okay, no problem.
But yeah, if there's any place in here that
I yeah, go ahead. Just go on to the next page because I want to get to where they really show, some interesting stuff that we really need to bring up.
yeah, if it keeps going, we're going to be in trouble, Sasuke. So he keeps expanding. So Black Zetsu keeps sucking him up, and then we
Right.
get the whole thing. We get the whole thing where Sakura is. It's bugging the heck out of Sakura that she's got to stand back while Sasuke and Naruto are going at it, and then Kakashi's like, "Wait, Sakura, if you act now without thinking carefully, you'll just be throwing your life away." So it gets into
Now,
how you.
that's where I want to stop you. That's one of the problems I want to stop you at right there.
Yeah, go for it.
Now, the past Sakura would
Yeah.
never have jumped to hasty decisions like she's been making in a couple of chapters as of lately.
Right.
She used to be the one that used to get up on Naruto about making, being so hesitant, and being so quick to judge and quick to jump into battle instead of thinking about what we need to do and how we need to strategize. So it's kind of shocking how Kishimoto kind of written her as of lately, as opposed to she's not knowing how to strategize. She's been in Konoichi for a while, and she's never done that in the past, so that's what's kind of weird. That's what I have a problem with that.
Exactly. I think it was 2 weeks ago. I went off and I said Sakura is now broken to me. I've never seen this Sakura before. 'Cause even as a little girl, she was smarter than she is now.
Yeah,
And all through growing up, she's never done this. As you say, she's always been one stop thing, telling Naruto have a plan, stop thinking before you do. And now I've just never seen this character before. So with Broken, and even for Neverworld came out with a separate little video about her saying, it takes a lot to get him. He's like, I don't even know who this character is.
yeah, he does that a
So
lot.
yeah, so this is just
But
and the whole thing with and then why I mean, it's let me just wait. It's irritating to have her go back to the thing where she's in love with Sasuke. Okay, that's irritating, but that still could be a character. It is.
that,
But her just being dumb like this is, like you say, that's out of nowhere. It's crazy.
well, I find that kind of weird too because during the Cage Summit, when they finally caught up with Sasuke and Toby was there at the time, she was ready to kill him.
Yeah,
Remember that? Under
yeah.
the
She's like, if
bridge?
I kill him, it's all in now.
Yeah, she wanted to get rid of him. So how did Kishimoto go from making this a brave, smart girl to this back to this naive little Kunoichi when she was first drafted into the academy and and just had googly eyes over the same character, like who pays no attention to her whatsoever.
Yeah. So yeah, she's broken. She's gone. And then let's see, the whole thing. Looks like you're much more dim-witted than Itachi. You think
Hmm.
just regular people can be used in battle, and then
Hmm.
it's the whole they're going to be produced in Kaguya as soldiers. One thing was interesting. Watzetsu is pretty darn chatty, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And,
he's a little crazy.
yeah, he's spilling the beans while Kaguya is kind of
Hey,
taking over.
it's so funny how they written this character because he was once in the background, never to be heard of, just a spy for Toby, aka Madara, aka Obito. So you never thought this guy would ever have a panel where he's taking charge of stuff now, and he basically outwitted Madara, who was supposed to be this like the super smart, super villain type of guy. That's like so hilarious to me now to watch this. Watch a plant. This guy is a plant, and he outwit Madara.
Well, let's right on here. I'm going to stay on this page. Actually, this is so the idea of the white Zetsus.
Hmm.
It says he plans to preserve everyone who the effects of the human alive. Right? The
Hmm.
whole thing is to make soldiers out of
Right.
it. And so over time, when you wrap somebody up in this, they turn into Zetsus. They can be controlled by whoever.
Yeah, but ain't that hypocrisy? Because we were told something totally different. You know,
Um,
during manga.
Hashirama's DNA and all that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, how did it go from Madara knowing everything what went on till now Kaguya is the reason why all this happened?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what's confusing. Just like I said, I wrote a comment on one of your channels and I said that
Well,
she
that's
had the
becoming
habit of
odd.
building up characters
Yeah.
and then basically making them fall in the end or making them seem stupider than they actually are. Like it's just getting ridiculous. Only person he's ever stayed consistent with is Naruto, because Naruto's been the same aloof character since day one.
Well, let me stay on the white Zetsus. What do you think?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, she says she can't use regular humans as soldiers, and that's why people are saying that she needs these white Zetsus to go into space, right, or to go into some other harsh environment or something.
Okay,
So there's and the thing is she isn't from here. Kaguya
right,
isn't from here. So
right.
is she from another planet? Is she from another timeline? It's another thing that scares me more when you do this time stuff. Is she from an alternate future or something? Past, whatever. So,
I mean, all we
Kanye.
doing, I mean, all we can do now is speculate because we really don't know how Kishi's gonna
Well,
write this.
that's what we're at. But that's what there's. But she needs soldiers that are sturdier than human soldiers. That is a fact.
But in that same breath, right? Didn't she also say she didn't want to fight?
Well, she comes down to that later. I mean, I'm going
Yeah,
page by page. So she doesn't want to fight because she didn't. No, she doesn't want to fight him there because that's her nursery for these Zetsu.
right.
That's why she took them to where they're going next. But we're gonna look. So everybody's gonna get turned into Zetsus for. Yeah. So it was a lot of big.
Plot holes.
Well, yeah, a lot of big shifts and everything. A lot of all of a sudden stuff. Well, it's the build. This was something Comic Bob 9 was talking about, which just stated it's okay. Obito was built up as the villain for how many chapters?
Oh, hundreds.
As Toby, and then once he reached a high level, it was built up and then switched to Madara, right? Okay,
Yeah, but
once Madara is on the cusp of getting everything he wants, he's built up. Now it's switched to Kaguya,
mm-hmm.
and that seems to be what keeps going on. As soon as so it isn't because something Comic Bob 9 pointed out is none of the heroes have ever defeated Madara.
No, not at all. Well, basically, all the chapters that we've been watching, we really never seen like a real battle between Madara, Sasuke, and Naruto. I mean, we've seen a little here and there, a little bit of action, but I'm talking about constant action. We really haven't seen that. We've seen a lot of dodging, a lot of ducking, a lot of planning to trap his shadows, a lot of this, but we never seen no head on fight between those three, which I thought was kind of weird.
We didn't get a battle that was satisfying enough. Like you said, we got some skirmishing, you know,
Yeah.
skirmish.
So is it going to be the same with Kaguya? Like she's now, you know, apparently now she's the last villain or final villain.
Well, apparently, or is it going to be? Is it another thing that repeats, or is it going to be her actual the will, this chakra from both Indra and Ashura is going to have to actually manifest itself to her sons, and does that mean that that would be her grandsons, and her actual sons are going to have to come back? Um, I don't know where this is leading, or is it going to lead to people from wherever she came from coming over to help out? I mean, it's speculation can go all over, right? If it, but if it keeps going the way it is, then she's built up. So somebody else will just come over to replace her.
Now, I don't think it should go on like that. Like, either make her the final villain or make her Orochimaru, which I still want that to happen.
Yeah, me too.
Now, that's just my personal feelings about that situation, but
Well, she's got the Byakugan, right? She's got the eyes.
yeah, she got to be Byakugan, yup.
So we're guys trying to see what makes them. There must be some qualities about this that go even further. As a matter of fact, she's got it to the point that she can actually look at their chakra and tell not only whose it is. So they're entering Ashura, and you got it from Hagoromo. So she can tell who gave the techniques. She can really
Right.
sing chakra. But also, she's got all that crazy hair, so she's going to have some crazy hair.
He says she got all that crazy hair. She's just
got long hair, man.
I don't know. She just seems like when she was here, she was a real terror. So I guess whatever the brothers and the sons and the two brothers didn't do, and the grandsons didn't do, I guess they're gonna have to finish it for good this time.
Well, and here's the thing: what did they do to her? Did they seal her off somewhere? Was she? And then this is the repeat thing. Was she doing basically the same thing with Dara? Was she in some cave somewhere, clinging on to her little tiny bit of chocolate, clinging on to the life, trying to manipulate circumstances, right? Until she got a hold of.
Yeah, but the story would never end if they did it like that, because there's always a chance that somebody could reseal her. You understand what I'm saying? Remember, these are ninjas. They know all kinds of ninjutsus, genjutsus, everything. Seal techniques. And where you make up one seal, there's another seal and another seal to counteract that, and so on and so on. Somebody can always break her out. So they really need to find a way to get rid of her permanently, like forever.
Yeah, well, exactly. And she looks like the dead god, right? So
yeah, she looks like the Death Reaper.
The Death Reaper. So it may be that you can't, because she's the Death Reaper. She's like the one entity that can't be ever totally sealed.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. Something's just weird.
Well, there's a lot, but we need to know what was it? Her other son's name came out, the six-pack brother, and that came out. So are we going to have to find out how they sealed her? We have to find out.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a flashback.
Something, yeah. We got to know what happened. So let us end this battle and we're getting to the last page. And then,
okay.
When I first read this, it didn't. I was just processing this, and it was short. And I looked at what was going on, and I thought that she had changed the environment. I didn't look at the top stalactites and all that, and go, she's ported everybody somewhere else, and then it's in a cave underground or something.
It's like she put them in the bottom of hell, because all you see is lava.
I shall erase you from existence right here and now.
She said vanish. That chick said vanish like she had so much power she really could do it. She did it.
And that is long hair. Her hair is like twice the length of her. That is some serious hair.
You can't get over. You can't get over the hair, huh?
I can't get over the hair. All right. Well, so what else you want to talk about as far as the chapter before we get on the ending? Because it was kind of short.
Yeah, but the explanation about Zetsu should have been more clearer. Kaguya should have been more clearer about how she took over Madara's body in the first place. That should have been explained more. I'm still curious about. Well, I guess we'll talk about that at the end, but there's just a lot of things I'm just curious about. You know, the whole
Oh,
ordeal.
we're at the end of the chapter, so is there anything about this chapter you want to talk about?
Yeah, 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 definitely. The whole Sasuke mysterious cloak that's surrounding him right now about what he plans on doing. You know what I mean? Like with himself and
Plan?
his
What's the
position. That's kind of like
plan? Yeah.
that's left in the wind. Kakashi's state of mind, allowing this little puppy that he once taught to basically talk down to him. That he, like I just don't get people's mindset when it comes to Sasuke. Sasuke's an evil dude. I don't know why people don't get that through their head. You know what I mean? There's nothing this guy's ever done good. And I believe the only reason why he's really helping Naruto and them, because I think he has a bigger plan.
Well, it's either been Sasuke the evil or the one like in balance for a little bit, but he's never been good Sasuke. Well, let me ask you a question. What do you think about Madara's new gender? I mean, so if he's going to battle, I mean, is he going to get his old battle? Is he going to, if he wins with Kage, does he get his old body back? Does he transform back, or is he just?
Yeah, that's going to be kind of weird how they're going to write that in. That's going to be really kind of weird because I don't take Madara as far as how Kishimoto built him up to be. I don't take him as one that's not having like 10 steps ahead of himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he is a Uchiha. He was probably the most brainiest Uchiha besides Itachi.
Do you think that's why he flung out those sage tools directly to Guy and Rock Lee, so that at least somebody would have them? In case
Yeah, I believe there's something to it. And I think the whole 10-10 thing is also a mystery that involves the whole ceiling thing.
well, remember his visor got stuck into one of the ninjas,
Yeah,
the scroll. So Dara's like, okay, I got to get these ninja tools away from me.
yeah,
I got my visor stuck in it, so I know where it's at.
right.
So also we got the Edos running around.
They don't know their head from their elbow. These
Well,
dudes make me sick.
you remember how we were like, why didn't he just finish him off? Why did he pin him down like that with the chakra rods or whatever?
Yeah,
This may be why. He, Madara is setting up all this insurance around here, acting like he doesn't know what's going to happen.
mm-hmm,
Now we got Edos running around, right? Good Kage's running around that aren't around that seem to be able to do whatever they want.
mm-hmm.
So this may be, his Dara's planning right here, his insurance policy.
Trump card.
Trump cards, he's got trump cards all over the place. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, he's just like I said, he's supposed to be the mastermind behind so much stuff. So I don't see how he would allow Kaguya. I know she's very powerful, but I don't know how he allowed her to maneuver the way she did without having a plan F. Because
Well,
we've seen A, B, C, D, E. We've seen all those.
right, but what you're saying is that what a lot of people are saying also is how could Dara be such a boss genius?
Yeah,
I think this is like, remember when Itachi fought Sasuke? He was battling him until the snake came in. Until he got him so weak in chakra and everything, which didn't come out.
yeah.
And then he got rid of him. And it looks like what Madara is just, he's been waiting for her to come out. Right? So that he can manipulate, because he's been manipulating everybody, right? Master manipulator.
Oh, come on.
And
He's
he can
been.
get his, so now he's gonna get the first, the second, the third, the fourth. He's gonna get all these guys to do his dirty work for him.
Yeah, I believe all that's going to play out. I believe he has an ultimate plan because it seems like he has a plan to back up that plan, just in case that happens, to back up that plan, and so on and so on. So, just like I said, Kishi built this guy up to be such the know-all, see-all, and the end-all of everything. I can't see how he would be less than this. If they just kill him off right now, I think that'd be the stupidest thing ever.
Yeah, and that's what I was watching for Neverwell. He's like, I got two ratings for this. If Madara is done, if this is him gone, this chapter was like a 3. He said if not, then it was like a 7.
Yeah,
But like you say, but that you pointed that out, and that's a big that's from too big to get around. Madara is just he's too smart for this. But hopefully, like I say, I'm excited even though I have real problems with the chapter. I'm,
hmm
I'm actually really excited because at least we're moving forward. Maybe not where we want to go, but at
yeah.
least we're moving forward. Well, unless is there anything else? Otherwise, we're going to go to the anime.
Oh yeah, we can go to the anime.
All right, episode 364.
Excellent,
That
excellent
was
artwork,
oh yeah,
excellent animation, beautifully done as far as all the epicness that was involved in this chapter. Like even the saddest parts, epic.
and I wanted on linking what we were saying before to this is it makes it even harder this chapter to see what a boss Madara,
Yeah,
is in the anime. One of my favorite lines, Madara is like, okay, they start giving speeches about this and that. Madara's like, I thought we would be done before they started giving speeches.
yeah.
It's got,
His comedic timing is brilliant.
oh man,
Him and Obito both know how to just say some slick stuff when they needed to because their conflict of interest up on top of that beast was just hilarious. Like the bickering going back and forth with each other.
yeah.
Like I never really trusted you anyway. I never looked at you as an ally or a friend.
Kishimoto is really good at doing that. I have to say, having some temporary allies or whatever bicker with each other. Remember Sorcery and the other guy way back in the
Yeah,
day?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
They got into an argument over art.
Yeah, it's Sasori and Datara.
Yeah,
Datara is a freaking. He's like an impulsive art junkie who thinks even explosion is art. Like you got to be crazy.
yeah. One was like art is just like it's just like a temporary thing. It's just something that happens instantly. And the other guy's like, nah, art is like lasts forever. Right?
Yeah,
And they were just about to go. They were about to try to kill each other over that. That was brilliant. Kishimoto's awesome at that. Getting arguments like that.
I just like some of the comedic timing that goes on with Obito, Madara, and even Naruto to a point because him and Obito start sparring with words. But Obito's slick though because he's trying to tear Naruto down,
Yeah.
but what he don't realize that Naruto has the will, man. He won't never give up. He's always been like that.
Well, Obito, his first thing was to get to his friends, but he allowed Madara to have him isolate himself, hate everybody, and all that. Naruto's he has some support around him. Well, we can definitely get back to this, but okay, Neji's death. Okay.
Oh, heart wrenching.
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't even take it, man. It's so funny that you mentioned Forever World. I watched his video of that review, and he was saying how he made the video actually shorter than he normally does. That was number one. Number two, he said he just couldn't even review it because he said that thing, even though it was done beautifully the way they did it, he said he just couldn't get over the whole Neji. He said that was too hard. That was just too much. I think for a lot of people were really hurt because I know a lot of Neji fans.
Yeah.
A lot of people were really hurt. Great character, definitely missed.
But it makes sense. This guy. To be honest, Neji hurt more than anybody else done
Yeah,
in this manga. He's fleshed out. He was sympathetic. He came a long way.
yeah, yeah, and with the help of Naruto. So that's Naruto's power. That's what I like about him. Like everybody, I hear a lot of people go off on Naruto, but look what this dude's done, man. Regardless to the point of how you don't like the way sometimes Kishi writes him, think about this. Naruto basically moved this war along to where it's at right now.
Yeah.
With all him, being him all over the place in different areas, using his chakra up, giving his chakra to his compadres, doing all the right things he's supposed to do, but at the same time going through conflict. Because we seen that in this chapter, where he had a kind of a hard time coming to grips with, the whole death thing, because he never experienced that before, besides the third Hokage. But for one of his friends to die like that, I think that was kind of heavy the way they made it.
Yeah, it was one thing too. As a matter of fact, his death was so big that the parents, Shikamaru and a lot of other people, Ino and all that, they died. But Neji's single death is because a lot of times people go, well, nobody died in this thing except Neji, right? It's like no. Actually, other people did die, but it's just that's the one that just eclipsed.
Well, you got to think Shikamaru, father, Ino's father. That was heart wrenching for them too.
Yeah.
And I heard somebody but I heard somebody say something real stupid though. They was like, "Why was Asuma's death more heart wrenching to them than the actual death of their parents?" I think it was a different because they were always around Asuma. You know what I mean? Even though, Shikamaru had a real close relationship with his father, I think he understood because this is war.
Yeah.
That was a possibility that can happen. And I think they came to their closure with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but let me say this. If they would have, the thing is, if they would have, this was during the conflict. They didn't fall apart during Asuma.
Yeah.
Dying, they still fought. But afterward, it would have been worse, in my opinion, to see their bodies after. But we haven't got to that point. Right?
Yeah.
So they never got that moment where they could see their parents dead and then grieve. So they never got to that. So it is like I said, statement. So they didn't think it from Neji, let me just make sure we cover this. The whole thing about his father, also on top of it.
Now he understands.
He understands and he ended up doing the same thing. So it's pretty crazy. And then Obito, let's make him suffer. Right? After he went through the whole thing before with Dar, he was a kid, acting like playing like a new toy, and all this kind of stuff. And then what happens? He gets pissed, and we're gonna goof around here. We're gonna spend time making these people suffer. But this was actually Obito, the anti-hero at his best, because he killed the people, and this was powerful. And I hate Obito, not an Obito fan, but as anti-hero, he was the top of his game this time. Because he said, with all those dead bodies and Neji dead, he says, look at him now and give that speech now, right? That you're not going to let any of your friends die. Do it now. And I was like, son of a gun.
Yeah, that was hard to swallow, man.
Woo. Woo.
But he was playing the wind though. He was ruthless. But but see, that's why I like Naruto, because regardless to the point, like Obito really, all fairness, he really doesn't have a right to be arrogant the way he is. You know what I mean? Because he started all this conflict. Him being manipulated by Madara and the whole nonsense with the fourth Hokage dying, he's responsible for that.
Yeah.
So I don't know where the arrogance comes from. And another thing too, why won't this guy die? Oh my God! I don't mean to curse. I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
Okay, wait. Let's hold on a second. Go back to chapter just for a second. When I saw a body like getting injected from Kaguya or something or whatever, I thought it's Madara, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's Obito. And they look and they see it's Obito. Okay, for everybody watching, we're going back just for a second. And of course he's always this guy, how like cockroaches are supposed to be able to survive in a nuclear war.
Yeah.
This guy falling out of that. I mean, think about all this guy survived. I said Kaguya, Madara gets absorbed into the Kaguya, everything. He gets kicked out, and he looks at a cockroach and just like laughs. Like, currently about nonsense trolls cockroaches. You guys can't survive.
Oh my God.
Roaches are like almost the top of survival, but Obito is top. He cannot die. But no matter what you do to Obito, he's going to live. He may not win a battle, right? He may not. He may lose. You know what he's going to do? He's going to live.
That's something guaranteed, right?
And then back to Naruto. His support right there. What was awesome is he's got Hinata right there in front of him, little gentle slap, and then
Yo,
the
not
big
for
slap,
nothing.
the Nine Tails, right? The Nine Tails really told him how.
Yo, listen, not for nothing though. Yo, every man needs a woman like Hanada.
Yeah,
Yo, very supportive, strong, and her love for him is not phony. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Because she had a crush on this guy since she was mad young, since they
yeah,
was kids.
yeah.
So you know it's coming from a real genuine place, and I think that's why a lot of people were really feeling that part of the episode when it came to Hanada and Naruto. Like everybody had that Narahina moment
I'm a
at that point.
Narahina fan. I feel it too. I have no, but you know what? I have no problem with Narasaka fans. I have no problem with that. I have no problems with any of it.
Yeah,
The
but to
funny,
me,
yeah, you know what would be
Narahina
the
just makes
funniest?
more sense.
You know what the funniest?
Go ahead.
I've told you this before. Okay, that he's supposed to, but his mother said marry a girl like her. Who's the girl that's most like his mother? Who's a
Yeah.
Uzumaki just like his mother? Who's a redheaded Uzumaki just like
Oh no, come on, please don't go there.
Karen?
Here you go with your sick incest again. That is so
Oh, we
gross,
were talking
dude.
about.
What are they like first generation cousins or something?
I don't know. They're in the same clan, man. Whatever.
Oh my God, that
Let's
is
get the
so
Karen
gross,
hate.
dude.
You get into that part of it. Most people, the Karen hate. Everybody haters.
Dude, first of all, she's gross. She's annoying.
Uh,
But the fact
so,
that her and Naruto's together, that is just so disgusting.
well, you know what? You know what's funny though? Out of the three people we've talked about for Naruto, Hinata's the only one that Sasuke had tried to kill. Tried to kill
Yeah,
him too.
yeah, right.
Okay. All right. And let's see. I already talked about this. Oh, what'd you think about Sai airdropping B right in for that beast bomb attack right into the eye of the Judy?
Let me tell you something about Sai. And I
Yeah.
find this hilarious. You don't see this dude through the whole entire war, but out of nowhere, he always shows up doing something really out, but it works.
Yeah.
Yo, the whole dropping being with the whole epic entrance,
Yeah.
that's a little over the top.
It
But it's
was.
always Sai that's doing it.
They air it. Yeah. Well, it keeps trying to keep Sai. Kishimoto likes Sai.
You can
He's able to
tell.
make it work. He doesn't be able to see him make it work in Naruto, but he likes him. He keeps
Yo, I think Sai is the
literally,
most
he literally parachuted
hilarious
this time,
character
right?
that
So,
Kishimoto ever created.
uh,
This guy just he's like the curtain guy, on the stage.
yeah. Just
Ta-da!
there.
You know what I'm saying? At the
Yeah.
wrong freaking time. That's what's funny. But
I
I
thought
didn't like the way Kishi entered Killer B either though. I didn't like that.
you didn't like it.
No, because this dude ain't been around in like 80 chapters.
Yeah, but that's another one. He's got to airdrop them in, and he's
They
like,
gotta make an epic entrance. That's what I'm trying
and
to tell
then
you.
what's the thing about the something was interesting. It didn't because you get to see stuff in the anime. What you think about the whole Juby, the way he was deflated?
Uh, I,
You're just gonna.
you know what it is? It's such a weird feeling because when you watch the manga version of it, it doesn't come across as generic like it did in this anime. You know what I mean? For the people who read manga would understand what I'm saying. When you read the manga and you seen that particular chapter, it didn't look so generic like it did like on the actual anime. Like the anime made the Ten Tails look kind of whack.
So
Like
you didn't like the anime version?
yeah, I didn't like it. I think the way they did it in the manga was totally different. Like they didn't make it seem so how can I say this? Like so unreal. You know what I mean? Like when you're making these things, you're trying to convince the audience that this is the most powerful being in the world. The ten-tailed beast is supposed to be the most powerful beast out of all the nine-tailed beasts, besides Kurama, right?
Right.
But when you look at this anime, He doesn't come across like that way. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, that's my point. Like, he doesn't look scary. You know, for years we've been reading about how this guy, you know, how the Ten Tails was supposed to have been the most terrifying beast, but it didn't come across that way in this one to me.
So when it deflated, it really deflated to you. You're like, okay, this isn't Judy. I mean, it's supposed to be a messed up Judy. It wasn't complete, but yeah. Okay, so you didn't like it.
I just didn't like the way they made it look. Like, if at least if I think if they would have did it this way, like made him look powerful at first, and then made it look like he was fighting his form to stay that way,
Yeah.
then that would have came across different. That's all I'm saying.
Well, is there anything more about the? Because we're about ready to hit the Hunter x Hunter.
Well, I just want to say one thing about the anime. I think they did a great job of how they pieced together the whole Neji situation and the speech with Naruto. You know, told to Naruto from Hanada, you know, to keep your head up. You know, you doing this. You know, Neji died so your dream can live on, so you can save the world. Like all that stuff was beautifully done by Studio Period. They did a great job. They really did. The way the whole episode was done nice.
Yeah, it does look good. Usually, a lot of times they're inconsistent.
Yeah, but it was actually done. Even the music, like everything, just played its part. That's all.
Yeah, they've definitely stepped it up. Supposedly.
Mm. So we're about to get into some Hunter x Hunter.
Oh, absolutely. Episode 132. I'm having to look back at my notes.
Ooh. Man, what is going on with Gong?
Well, let's see. Well, well, well. Hold on. Now. This is the one where Poof deceiving the king, right?
Right,
And now Yuki's going to help him,
of course.
and they're trying to get um, Pito in on it because he doesn't know she's dead.
Nah, he doesn't.
He has no clue she's dead. So that's good writing. Right? I mean, it's easy for Gashi to do. But and by the way, anybody can't tell us it doesn't know by now. Other Gashi fans.
Yeah.
But and then we get to Knuckles and Melron.
What was that all about?
Well, what happened was remember they were blended in with like the rest of the crowd,
Yeah.
and just like they were hypnotized, they're going to look for their opportunity.
Mhm.
And the aura, okay, because the king is talking, and he sensed that there are other ninjas,
Mhm.
and his aura, he says, "Tell me the truth. If you think any of them can defeat." He's not only as powerful as he was, so many, taking on the best.
Mm.
Humanity had to Netero, but now he's absorbed the abilities from Yuki on top of him. And his aura was so massive, Knuckles said,
Mhm.
"Oh my gosh, I was an idiot to even think I could fight this guy." And I had to stay, he said something like 50 meters or something. And
Yeah.
brave PR to work. PR, love it. This guy's, oh man. But, and he's like, "So we got to get out of here." And Melron, now his sense is duty, not duty and loyalty.
Yeah.
And Melron wants revenge. He wants the king dead.
Yeah.
And so as they're walking, he's like, "Look, we got to get out of here. We got to go back and tell the hunters that we're in over our head." And he's like, "What about everybody else?" He said, "Look, once they feel that aura, they'll be able to figure it out. They have to run.
Yeah.
There's no way we can fight this thing." And one of the things is, but Melron doesn't want to leave. It says revenge and duty. They're different. Tagashi's motivations, right? It says revenge and duty. Placed a growing distance between them and walk. So as they're walking, Melron's like, if I had to use somebody else to get revenge, I'll do it. But
Yeah.
all this dialogue happens.
Yeah, that was too much dialogue.
And the king comes in and he knocks out Knuckles.
Yeah. What was that all about?
He's that far ahead of them, man. He's that so far above these guys.
Yeah.
And Melron, before he could even do his disappear trick, he got knocked out.
Yeah, he got.
Matter they got knocked out.
Yeah,
They
yeah, I know
got
what you
dragged
want to
into
say. I want to
Wilson.
say it too. I can.
Yeah, and he's like, bam! So he went ahead, he dropped their bodies off, and then we get into the whole thing. Now we get back to Poof trying to run his game,
Yeah,
and he's
manipulated.
like, okay, now I'm gonna go find the rest of them. Poof's like, oh, that he's gonna find a clue because he's like, even if he says her name, the Mogi,
Yeah,
he's gonna know, he's gonna remember, he's gonna start acting more human, and we can't have that.
yeah,
So the whole thing about the game, and he uses the king, and the king loves games, right?
yeah, yeah. It really does too.
And he's
Obsessed
so
with him, if you ask me.
he's obsessed with games. So the king is like, so he's got the king's ear now. He's all right with it. He says, what are the rules? Okay. And then they get into the rules. And he says, um, first, he doesn't start until they go back and hypnotize the new people and come in.
Right,
Can't start there. And then the king, because you're so much greater than we are, you can only use one hit ability one more time
right.
for the search. And there you are. There's the rules. That's his rules.
That's his rules. Yeah.
And then the king comes in and says, he says, I'll tell you. Tell you what we're going to do. On top of this, you guys win. Then you get a wish.
Right.
Each one of you a wish, and they're just loving it.
Yeah.
And then this is the part where everything flips around. And he says, but if you lose, you have to tell me. See?
Wow, they wasn't ready for that one.
Poof is, of course, sweat running down Poof now. And then the king's like, I can sense your guilt,
Mm-hmm.
but I can also sense that your loyalty to me is so much greater than the guilt you feel.
Wow.
So I know, and oh yeah, that just totally gave Poof a loyalty, just love it. The king was just basically saying, awesome for loyalty.
Wow.
And so it's all on the line.
Yeah, but it was too much dialogue, Steve, in here.
I like it. I was okay with it. I like the tension. I felt the tension. So
Oh yeah, yeah. You definitely felt that build up, without question. There was definitely a lot of build up there.
now we needed more action.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like,
Exactly.
you build us up, and I'm like, okay, who's gonna get beat up this week? That's what I'm waiting for. Like, I ain't even thinking about all the dialogue. I mean, the dialogue is cool if you're taking it somewhere where it needs to be placed at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To move the story forward. But
The
a little bit too much.
action we had was kung fu chops to the neck.
Listen, I tell you one thing. 130 and 131 was a totally different story.
Oh, we went from the last few animes have been, but those have been like epic. Not just X Hunter, but just people were saying, almost awesome episodes of the year. Easy for top, viewers.
Yeah, man, that story is written so well, man. So well.
And now, unless there's something else you want to talk about the anime real quick, we can switch over to the chapter.
Yeah, go ahead. You can switch to the chapter.
All right, now
Here we
let's
go.
talk about some dialogue.
Wow.
Good grief! Yeah, the last two. I wasn't prepared, but Tagashi, he's slow with getting you started.
But why?
Because he wants to make sure that you and I know what's going on.
Oh, okay. So that's what you say.
Even if it's painful. I mean, because let me ask you a question. How many plot holes have you spotted? All the way to 300?
I'm going to be honest with you, tons.
In Tagashi?
Yeah.
All right. I haven't really seen them, but I mean, But
I seen
I'm
little
a fan,
bits in
right?
here.
But like I said, I drank the Kool-Aid with this guy.
Yeah. He got you sweet.
Tagashi fan. He got me.
He got
But
you
anyway,
sweet.
we start off with this. Now, beyond Netero, right? Just calling it
Mhm.
beyond. And then the Kingdom Taken. They want to go to the Dark Continent. Okay, the V5. I've been on 6 continents taken.
But what is the king actually trying to accomplish?
Well, his thing is, well, he wants the two things. I said this is greed and glory. He wants both. They want to make a lot of money. The cake
Hmm.
are also part of that thing. They want to transport people. They want to, whatever is there. They want to exploit the resources, the thing there. They want all, and the king wants the gold. Okay. Now
So
beyond,
basically, they just want to control. So what basically he wants to control everything on the black market, where everybody has to count on him.
it looks like that and then some. But he wants the glory too. He wants to be the guy that conquered the new. And if you've seen the way the map is, because I got like 3 pages of notes here, is like the world they actually live in, 6 continents, is in the middle, and
Yeah.
then the rest of it is like this much larger area.
Yes.
So this is like, so in reality, this is like a chain of islands, this continent, supposedly the world, in relation to the rest of it, which is so much bigger. It's kind of
There's
crazy.
more territory to cover, huh?
Oh, there's a ton of, and the B5 is like, the different continents, the government agencies, like
So you
our
think
five.
that the king's intention is to totally control everything?
Well, what I think the king is representative of, and I've seen some other people writing stuff in here. It's the greed. It's the unrestrained kind of greed, regardless of the danger. Because he's going to do it. He's no matter what the risks are. Because we've seen, look, 341 was like what? All these crazy reasons not to go there, right?
Yeah.
Because this is too dangerous to go there. I mean, just they're just like, look, this is here, it's there, and even in here, but we'll cover it. It's too ridiculous. So the business interest, all this kind of stuff. And let's see, just go through more notes real quick. All right. Well, I said there was basically talking about how much words there are or whatever. But this is like it's unwieldy. There is too much. Unless would have been better. It may not have been more, but it would have been better. Just like staying here. But I think that he's just making sure to try to cover his bases. Make sure
Right.
to get everything explained. And world map, we talked about that. And then we're getting here. So get a load of this. So there's been 5 excursions to the Dark Continent, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
7,500 people, right?
Wow.
And only 28 survivors. And only 3 cleared for daily life. In other words, they don't have
Wow.
tube or cage or like whatever.
Right.
So 3 out of 7,500.
That's
This,
ridiculous.
and this is like out of some of the strongest hunters and all kind of people. You know what I mean?
Wow.
This is kind of ridiculous. Okay, and then after that, we get to the gatekeeper, which I found pretty interesting.
Yeah, he's
The magical beast. Now, UB was created completely from magical beasts. I don't know why this stuck out in my head,
right.
but it did. So of the ants, he doesn't have any human in him. Okay? Doesn't have any animal either. It's all magical beasts. So that's who we could look at, see, from Takashi's planet in there to go, okay, if you want to know what magical beasts are like, then these a bunch of them like combined together.
Mhm.
Well, evidently, these creatures either fly people to there or transport them there some way.
Right.
That's what we use. It's the magical beasts. So we got some example of that. And then they want to bring in the king of Kagan and everything, make them beat 6. Like we had to 5 members of permanent security council. They get like council. They have like 5. Now they're going to have 6.
Yeah.
And the king. We're going to talk about that. Oh, and I love this. And they said they have uninhabited islands. Okay, that they want to go to first before they hit like the dark continent.
Right.
So it's like a test. And yeah, imagine that. It's going to be pretty crazy.
King
And
piece of work.
oh, yeah, absolutely. And then what do you think about the Black Whale transport ships? 200,000 people apiece that they can take over there, and they're wanting to build, what was it, 20 more? The next year they want to build 20 more.
Yeah.
Have at least 1 million people in the Dark Continent by the end of the year or something. I mean, just so they're doing all this. All this stuff is dangerous. They have all these creatures, beasts, and they're just going like blindly forward with this stuff.
They ain't had nothing planned out. Can't even. Yeah, I don't even think they're gonna. You think they're gonna totally make that?
What do you mean?
Like, you got all that stuff on that one animal, right? To transport all those people.
Well, see, I don't know how it is. Do they need to? Did they like get like a carriage? And does this
Yeah,
have wings and it carries me, or does it transport them somehow otherwise? I don't know. Maybe these magical beasts can simply transport there and back, or maybe there's a gateway that they control. I don't know. So
right.
that's a really good question. We need to find that out.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, so you believe that the king's intention is to totally take over things, but he wants to use everybody so he can gain more power. Because that's what he gets most off on, is the power about it, right?
yeah, well, I think so, but yeah, all that kind of stuff. I don't think he's. I think he's not necessarily the main villain or problem in this whole story.
Right.
He's just like the main facilitator. He's willing to throw all this money
Mm-hmm.
and everything. It was like the guy who was throwing the whole thing that was funded behind Greed Island was that one guy throwing money. There's some
Yeah, yeah.
cure for his wife, right? It's this guy is throwing all this money for his nation. He's probably his nation with mother and all that nationalism. So it's all that, but but the problem is it's all this stuff is humanity. Because remember, we spent almost two full chapters, or a chapter and a half, talking about how dangerous the dark continent is, and then as soon as they start talking about how much money they can make
Yeah.
and everything, they start. This one guy comes out, oh well, Then they start talking about, well, it's manageable risk. All these things aren't any more dangerous. And that's what happens. They start justifying their BS.
It just sounds like politicians.
It is. It's exactly what it is. Now, I wish to gosh you would have been able to condense this down and make it more entertaining for us.
Yeah.
But the core of it's there. It was just not distilled down there. And then after all this, the two chapters, it's been so exciting to have a series go back like this. And it's easy for us because people like Mike that have been waiting 2 years.
Yeah.
Been waiting 2 years for this to get done. And then Game and Paris at the end. This felt like Hunter x Hunter to me.
Yeah.
The other thing was like a class with slides and films to get up to date on what's going on. So we could do like college or something. We could do the class. So we could actually get into the class. But this is like getting into it. It was like, and God, like the Paris, he just tells, he goes in there and, hey, why don't you just send, 5,000 Chimera over there?
Yeah.
He knows that this guy has got, Pariston's got all these chimeras. Because they went in this little group when they went to the, what they call it, the big grapes, I think, where they had all the people. Just got a bunch of these guys here experimenting. And,
So what?
Yeah,
So what do you think about Gone? What do you think is going to happen with that situation?
from what I heard, we may not see. You mean the whole thing about not seeing them for the arc? Is that what you're talking
Yeah.
about? Well, I don't know. We're almost done on this part. Let me go ahead and stay on the comparison. We'll talk. That's a great question. But I'll go off on that one just a little bit here.
Mm-hmm.
But Pariston is. I went and looked on the X Hunter Wikipedia thing. His code name is the Rat.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. Because everybody hates him. He's this good look. He's also like one of the few characters that doesn't look like an animal or something.
Nah.
Guy charismatic, he's the Rat. Because people don't trust him. And
Would you trust a rat?
no, absolutely not.
They got every right to.
Let me throw some quotes. Gone versus Paris, because the tension between the two. Because it's funny because it's just like the whole thing where Beyond is more powerful than he's put. The Zodiacs aren't going to be able to handle him.
Yeah.
Paris and his buddies are not going to be able to handle Ging. Ging is the one, they're not going to be able to handle this guy. And here's a couple of comments.
Yeah, he's over the top.
Exactly. He says, from here on out, I'm going to be playing directly. And then he says, until I hear you say uncle. Because Paris is like, oh, you're going to join me? He says, nah. And basically what he said is, I'm coming along with you, but I'm not joining you. You know what I mean? I'm using you for my own needs.
Yeah, I
and
think one is entertainment purposes.
and both of these, but I went back and supposedly this Pariston is no joke. He's
Yeah,
supposed
powerful
to be
character.
he's supposed to be extremely powerful. It's like almost near to powerful. He's
Wow.
supposed to be, so we don't know what he can do yet. And to be honest, what King King.
Wow.
So these guys are. We all we know is they're extremely powerful. But
But
that
we
leads
just
into
don't
the
know what they
question.
can do yet.
Yeah, well, we don't know, but we're going to find. But also, that leads directly to your question: what I think about not seeing the main four characters in an arc,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, well, it's hard to begin with. I think we're going to like it because let's remember the last arc, the stuff that Tagashi's throwing out is too powerful for him last arc, right?
Right.
And he's ratcheted up beyond chimeras,
Right. That's true.
so they just can't survive it. They literally can't deal with it.
So,
So how is he gonna? What's gonna happen? Is it gonna be like a time skip? Are they going to do this, and then there's a time skip when they have to go in because Ying and the rest of them didn't make it? You know what I mean?
yeah, that's true too.
So a lot of and Tagashi, I have to say, I do feel confident that it's going to at least his basic story and everything that he's got it planned out. He's not just pulling things out of
Yeah,
orifices.
I believe that.
So I'm all right with it, but it's hard. Remember, like when he started breaking him up, he says, "Okay,
Yeah.
you go this way, and then Kropika, you go that
Yeah,
way."
that was a little confusing though.
It was a little bit confusing, but one of the well, it was a lot confusing. The one with the what's interesting is the one with Kropika is the New York City arc is one of the favorite ones,
Wow.
and Lorio is he's just kind of on the periphery, right? He's one of the main four characters evidently, but is he really? Because he really doesn't, you know. He's almost kind of like he's like in this quasi. He's not a secondary character, but he's not a main character either. In this
He pops
area.
up when it's necessary.
Yeah, I guess so. But I don't know. But anyhow, I'm fine with it because I feel confident that wherever Tagashi's going, he's going to make it. So,
Who do you
this,
think is going to turn out to be the biggest farce in this series?
what do you mean farce?
Like pretending to be something other than what they are. Because there's a lot of snakes. Like you don't feel the tension. Like nobody's honest. You don't know who to trust. People who have powers, but you don't know what their powers is yet. Because I guess it hasn't been explained yet. I just feel weird about it. Like I just feel like certain that the characters are going to turn out to be something else.
I don't. Well, I don't follow you, but I mean, is there something that you want to give an example of, or?
All right,
Uh,
the whole thing of how they're traveling and how these people are transporting. How's that going to end up? Where are they going to end up at? Where are they really going?
that I don't know, but I mean, I feel pretty confident it'll make sense whenever Tagashi shows it to us. But
This guy, the rat, think this dude could be trusted? Like really?
no, not at all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of characters in this story that I just see like they're gonna turn like they're one way right now and it's gonna be different later on.
Well, it could be. I
Because
mean,
I just feel the tension. I just feel it.
yeah,
Just the way the storyline is going right now, I just feel it.
yeah. Well, I'm loving it. I was.
No, I'm no, I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying I'm surprised you didn't feel that just by
What?
reading just these three. Watching these three animations alone was kind of like, something bigger is gonna go on.
One thing that I like before we go ahead and end the video is Tagashi's got a thing for transportation vehicles. I don't know if you know.
Yeah.
Airships. I mean, who has zeppelins, right?
Yeah.
So he's got zeppelins, and then he's got the blue whale, ships and all this kind of stuff. So he's got a big thing. He's even even with the butlers, they had that one woman that had a motorcycle. It was like alive.
Yeah, he must have traveled a lot, huh?
He's got some pretty cool stuff. But
Yeah.
anyway, I think that about finishes it out for us. We're not gonna do fairy tale because you're not following it, right?
Nah, not at all.
All right, and it normally goes down pretty quick. Anyhow, although it was entertaining and the artwork and it's already
Yeah.
pretty good.
I
But
just want to see what's going to happen to Gong. That's all. That's going to be real curious.
so you got a whole arc that you're gonna be waiting to see what happens to God, because I mean, how long do you think this arc's gonna be?
I don't know, man. I think it's going to go on.
It's gonna go on for a while. Could you imagine that we're sitting there and watch? I don't know, 30,
Yeah.
45. I mean,
I'm
how many
telling you.
chapters?
All I'm saying right now, I think something big is going to happen with Gong. I just
Absolutely.
feel it.
All right. Well,
Really feel it.
all right. Well, on that note, all right. We only got. I appreciate Mr. Marcus being here, because if you weren't here, then there would have been no show, because I'm not going to do much by myself.
Yeah.
So appreciate your help. It was awesome. We had a lot of fun. We went in and covered everything for Fairy Tale. I'll go ahead and take that off the list so nobody will even know what I'm talking about, because it won't be top of this anymore. All right.
Yeah, right.
Everybody have a good time. And until next time, take care.
All right.